So, welcome guys. It's the 29th of January, Gratitude Gang Team Training. And I'm not going to waste any time introducing Kira Westwick because everyone knows who she is. She's like our Juice Plus mama. If it weren't for her, none of us would be here. Or we'd be here, but in a far inferior team. Just kidding. We needed her. We basically needed her to start freestyle so that we could all have the incredible businesses that we have. So Kira, I'm just going to spotlight you. And do you just want to rant or do you want a Q&A?
I think I need a bit of a lead in. Otherwise, I normally need a lead into a rant. So they don't just kind of come from anywhere.
Okay. Well, guys, if you want to maybe post in the chat just to kind of get her going, maybe if you've got any challenges currently in the business. Kira's specialty is definitely mindset and really helping you break through the glass ceiling that you create for yourself. To kind of kick it off, I know that a lot of the girls are going for promotions and it's end of month, and sometimes it can be that time where you've got maybe 300 points to go and you have to get it done today and you feel like, okay, no, it's impossible, I'm just going to give up, but you're that freaking close. Like Holly, not sure if I can claim the win, but I may have scored SDVF today, is one of the girls going for SDVF. So what would you recommend to people who are really pushing to get their promotions done, but they feel like maybe they're just that close but not going to get it?
Yeah. I think, first of all, if we start from the beginning, I've just got some notes from some other stuff I was chatting about before that might come in as well. But I think, first of all, is if we go back to, let 2019 be the year that you keep your word to yourself. And this was a huge breakthrough for me coming into this business. And it didn't start at the beginning. It took me 12 months to get to this mindset that I have today. And that is, if I make a commitment to myself, that I'm going to follow through. And I think so many people, and Scott Harris talks about this actually a really great thing to watch. And if you go and find the training that Scott did for us coming into 2018 to start the year, it was really amazing. And I'm not sure if it was on that training, but he spoke about, how, we're so scared of letting people down in our lives. But the sad thing is that we so easily let the most important person down, and that is ourselves. And, we make these commitments to ourselves and we set these goals, but then we don't show up to achieve them. It's like New Year's resolutions, is that you already kind of know as you're making them that you're going to break them. So for me, I think a make or break point in my life was drawing a line in the sand and just knowing that I was no longer going to be that person. And if I told myself I was going to achieve something, then I was going to go all out to achieve it. And, there have been occasions in my business where I've set the bar too high. But you can ask yourself honestly, did I play full out? And you can still be happy with your effort if you fall a little short, because you still create momentum by going that extra mile and playing full out. And you get better and wiser at setting realistic expectations for yourself. And that's why I really, really love having survive and thrive goals. Or the non-negotiable and then the stretch goals. For me, what I'm doing is tracking and measuring my business every month. And this is something that you can do right from the beginning, where you're really watching those basic numbers. And this is how you learn to grow into leadership and reports and numbers, is just starting with the basics. How many customers in your organization, whether it's just you or whether it's 2 or 3 or 10 people, how many customers have you had for the month of January? And this is leading into February goal setting, but how many customers do you end with? How many new teams do you end with? And just tracking those basics. And in February, making a commitment to yourself to see those numbers go up. How do they go up? By bringing on more people to help with the mission. And every month, month after month, if you commit to showing up to make that happen, then you will see your numbers track nice and steady and your organization grow, and you'll get to a tipping point where you hit that momentum phase. And I guess it's just how I really looked upon it once I made that decision to really go all in. And it was January I believe 2015. So it did kind of start at the beginning of the year. And I had my second defining moment about 6 months after that, actually. So kind of had two defining moments where I kept leveling up. But yeah, so, and, you know, you get to this, like, the great thing is there's no need to feel overwhelmed by that, like anything that I just shared. Like, okay, I'm going to commit to growth every month and making sure the numbers grow, and I'm just going to track those basics. I'm going to work my butt off to make sure that we've always got new people coming into the team and I see those numbers grow. The beauty of this business is you get to grow as a person as your business grows. You're not expected to have an NMD leadership mindset on day one. You're expected to have a VF mindset, and then you get to DVF by doing a little bit of action, creating a little bit of confidence, and you know that gives you the mindset to help you step outside your comfort zone to go to SDVF. And then when you create an SC business and you have, you know, a little bit of team happening, you've got a little bit of leadership happening, and so you get to just level up one step at a time. So just commit to being okay with getting outside your comfort zone and taking that one step at a time. And yeah, as I said, like, start showing up for yourself, start setting those survival and thrive goals. And that's why I like to break it down as survive and thrive, because if you're tracking the numbers, you can get really realistic with your expectations on your survive goals. But then you can set those thrive goals. And that's what excited me into momentum. It made me stretch a little more every month. Like, whenever, you know, you hit those survive goals, if you have the bare minimum bar every month, then you're not stretching for anything more. And you might get halfway through the month and you've achieved your survive goal, whether it be like, you know, 5 new customers and 1 new team or whatever that might look like. And then you kind of stop working, and then you don't have momentum in your business. Whereas if you set that, you know, thrive goal, which might be, you know, 10 new customers and 3 new team, then you keep hustling. And usually what you'll do is you'll fall somewhere in between, and occasionally you'll hit the thrive. And that little bit extra, it's like when you're running, you know, if you were to run a marathon, you're in the Olympics. You know, you're going to jog the last meter, or are you aiming past the line? You're seeing way past that line and you're going full force right to the end. And this is probably one of the most damaging things I see in this business, is this attitude, this relaxed attitude at the start of the month, where a week gets completely written off because, you know, we get to end the month and then we're like, oh, I'm just not going to do much for a week. And then, you know, then that kind of that energy flows into the next week where we're dragging our feet a little bit. And then we finally get running, and then we go, oh, I'm too overwhelmed. I don't think I'm going to make it this month. But, you know, you didn't start like with that energy every single day and then see past the 31 days in January? And look past 31. Like, yes, we go in months, but February 1st is a business day as well, right? So it's every day bringing that energy, every day bringing that momentum, every day making that commitment to yourself. And I had this discussion with someone today, is that, you know, not every day is easy in this business. Not every month is easy. Not every month do we reach our goals or, you know, get what we expect from this business. But what's the alternative? Like, not everything is enjoyable about this, but like for me if I had to go get a job and work 40 hours a week, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably be in retail, which for me would not be soul nourishing. And so sometimes it's also being realistic about, like, this is amazing how we get paid and what we do. And, you know, if I focus on the mission and, you know, what I'm excited about and the people that I get to serve, the many stories of transformation with health and the many stories of transformation with life, like, you just have to pinch yourself. And I think sometimes we get to really forget to take that in, and that you're a part of that greater mission. And when you stop and think about that, that's where you get the energy and excitement to show up every day in your business, whether it be for 30 minutes, whether it's, you know, 5 hours, whether it's your full-time business, whatever it is for you right now. It's making that commitment. And, you know, just being that marathon runner every day, whether it be for that 30 minutes or however long it might be. I don't know. It just kind of went on a rant then. Was that the question?
It was a good rant. That's what we all want, right? Yeah, no, but I think that's awesome. Like the whole, if you were running a marathon, you don't like jog the last 50 meters. You freaking sprint your ass off.
And then you're happy, right? Like even if they don't come first, they know that they gave it everything, you know. And I'm not, and I believe magic can happen. Like we've made SDVS happen in a day to get promotions, right? Anything is possible. That's the truth. It's just asking yourself how important it is for you. And if you give it your absolute all, you can never be disappointed in yourself.
Yeah, completely agree. So there's a question here. I'm from a small town where a lot of people have a franchise already. How do you suggest I make myself different from the rest and grab people's attention with what we do?
I think it goes back to creating community and connection, making a mission that's bigger than yourself, that people like, that has a vision that people are compelled to want to get on board and buy into and move with, and move towards with you. You know, I think when we think about what attracts people to this business, it's because it delivers so highly on the human needs. And, you know, that is love and connection, which is community. It's certainty, it's uncertainty, you know, getting outside their comfort zone, having to grow, it's growth, it's contribution. And it's all of those things. And I think if you show up and show that you have a space where you're providing those things, then people will want to work with you. I think if you're adding the most value, you're doing a great job of connecting, people will be drawn to you. You know, this is a real business. You want to make business decisions and work with business partners who you feel like are going to help you get to where you want to go. So you need to have the highest level of certainty, because the most certain person always wins. And if you have the most certainty in where you are going with this, that you're going all the way, then people will buy into that and they'll want to come with you. Now, you can't poach people who are already in the business. We've got most of my girls who are rock stars are small country town girls. So don't let that story be a story that prevents you. You know, Sal Bradford comes to mind. I don't think she even has anyone that lives in her town. So she has to drive like, I don't know how many hours just to get to the supermarket. So, you know, obviously online you can reach the world. You have the world at your fingertips. So regardless of whether you're doing this online or in person, I would keep those tips in mind about just being really certain and having a vision that's really compelling that people want to join, and being really out loud and proud about that.
The next question, Casey feels like she had a false start, which I feel like you can definitely relate to, Kira. First 2 customers cancelled, working on building back belief. What would you recommend in creating unwavering belief after setbacks?
Casey, I'm going to come back to that. Can you let me know, just so I can target that, but I will talk about beliefs. What area of belief has shaken you? Is it that the business doesn't work because the customer's cancelled, or that the product doesn't work? Just let me know and I'll come back to it. What is your best tip for building rapport? Kids are meant to be in bed. I'm like, is that laughter or crying? It's laughter. Best tips for building rapport is just be an awesome person. Take an interest in people, like actually genuinely care about people. That's how you build rapport. Like that literally is all I would have to say, is genuinely care about people. How does a caring person show up? They're interested, they're understanding, they add value. I think mostly that, you know, they take an interest, and they stay connected, and they give more than they ask for, I think. So give more value, blow people away with the value you give. And, you know, like it's that trust, it's gaining that trust. And when you have that trust, then people will happily, you know, choose you when they're looking to better their health or join a business. So, you know, what ways do you build trust with someone? What way do you take a liking to someone? You know, when you kind of like, oh, that person, I really dug their energy, I really was attracted to that. Take note of what characteristics and what behaviors draw you into someone, and then make a habit of having those as your own. Yeah, I think that answers that. Cal is sprinting. Love it. We're here to sprint with you. How to respond when a customer asks, is this another MLM program? Oh, what do you mean by that? The chances are they don't even know what they mean by that. So just play dumb. What do you mean by that? And then use feel, felt, found. That's the best way to deal with that. What is the best way to connect with people over Instagram, Facebook that you don't know? Is this something you do a lot of, Ange?
Connecting with people on Instagram? Yeah, we do. We've been using a lot of apps now, like the parenting apps and stuff like that, which is what I'm kind of recommending to people because you find new people. I think for me, it's like adding friends of friends is usually the way to go and just continuing to add value.
You've really got to find like a point of, and correct me if I'm wrong, but a point of commonality, is that the word? Like something that you have in common that you can genuinely talk about. Otherwise,
groups and
otherwise it just doesn't, otherwise it's a challenge, I think. Like to just randomly reach out to someone. Like I don't take too kindly to people just randomly reaching out to me without there being some kind of, if there's something that we have in common, then I'm open to it. And I'll engage the conversation. But if it's just a random inbox, I don't really care what they say. I don't really respond to it.
I agree. I think sticking to what we do best, which is groups, and connecting with people who have similar interests and, finding people in your area, if you're a mum app, a mum group, all those bits and pieces. That's, for me, if there's something like Kira with horses, if someone came to her and was like, I have a pony who's white and it doesn't stay white, she would be like, same.
Yeah.
I have purple shampoo for my pony and it lasts 5 minutes. And so it's like a common interest. So you got to find that with other people.
Totally. And, I think that sometimes people get scared and they try and cast this really wide net, but truthfully, you will do best by attracting like-minded people. So if you're sticking to like-minded people anyway, then you're going to find that commonality and, they're going to be attracted to your energy if you put great energy out there. This is a social media tip that I always fall back on is like, if you go on your social media right now and you scroll back, for the last 6 months, would you follow you? Are you inspired by you? Or are you depressed by your own posts? How does it make you feel? I would follow someone that does what I do because obviously I'm passionate about it. And if a like-minded person was sharing similar stuff, then I would be inspired by that. So I feel in a good place by what I put out there. So ask yourself that question. And, then when you reach out to someone who's like-minded in similar groups or similar interests, the first thing they're going to do is check out your page. And if it's commonality, then they're going to be more open to hearing what you have to say. So the product, neither of them felt any different after using the product, yet I've had great results. So I'm wondering why it hasn't worked for more of them. Sometimes it's a matter of people don't, because it's subtle. I've had so many customers go off the product and then come back on because they realized once they stopped taking it how much it was really doing for them. The other thing is that we can do a better job in our customer service with the customer service survey, which gets them to take note of things that they may not have attributed to Juice Plus, like and you can ask them the question at the beginning so their mind is already thinking about it so that then they notice. I don't know anyone who hasn't consciously been aware of it, who hasn't seen how much stronger their nails are, for example, after being on the product. Some people are sleeping better. Like there's a whole list of different things to look out for in the questionnaire. It's a funny one. And the other thing is a lot of people just don't take it properly. And then they also expect it to be a magic pill. I would be interested to know what the diet of these people were like, because if you're eating processed food, 3 times a day, Juice Plus isn't a miracle pill that can mask how crap that's going to make you feel. I don't know. I know how I feel when I eat one junk food meal. So having my Juice Plus that day is not going to prevent me from having a food hangover, from eating the wrong food. So sometimes it's setting up realistic expectations as well. And then it's just coming back to common sense for you, hun, is like, you're putting extra fruits and veggies in your body every day. It's the most researched product on the planet today, literally. Like, that's not a BS pipeline. It literally is. The science is proven what it does in the blood at a cellular level. And so it makes sense that we should be bridging the gap. You know, we don't necessarily eat a salad and then go, wow, I'm feeling so much better from eating that salad. Like, it's, you know, it's a gradual process. So there's plenty of research out there. I think the testimonials are a great, you know, for me, it's the stories where we've really impacted people and made a change. And it's your own story. You've had great results. So your belief really should start there. If you're feeling great, you know what it's done for you, then that's what's really important. What about if someone wants to cancel and then decide to order again? Is it better to delay? Yeah, give them the option if they'd like to delay first. If they're on the Children's Health Study, they won't be able to reactivate that. So usually I will get them to delay before they cancel, because a lot of the time it's overstocked and they just haven't been taking it properly, and you can kind of give them a bit of a reminder, get them to set an alarm or put it in a place in the house where they take it consistently. Because that's definitely a big problem with people not feeling the benefits, is they're not consistently taking it properly. I recommend all my customers take them all at once, whether it's in the morning or the afternoon. Put them in one place that they see every day and just take them all at once. Trying to take them 3 times a day is just, I can't even do that. So, and like, yeah, I just do it all at once. Any other questions? See what else I've got in here. Have you connected with the majority of your customers or teams, social media? How do I stay connected? Is that what that question is? For me, I use Messenger personally. I've got like one on text message that's not on Facebook, but just trying to think, I'm pretty sure they all are on Messenger. So even if they come from Instagram, I get them onto Messenger because it's just easy for me to organize it in my head that way. And what I have is, I'm not sure, I just cleaned out my office. I don't know if it's in my drawer in the cupboard, but I have a 30-day file with all my customers, and there's the form now which you guys can print out, but I used to just do it on blank paper where I would just have their name, details about them, so I could check in with those details, what their goals were, what they ordered, when they ordered it, and that way I can pull those out. And when I do my customer service, I've got, like, because I have the worst memory, there's no way I'm remembering any of those details, let alone the customer's name, if it's not written down. So that just really helps to jog my memory about the conversations that we've had, and then I'm able to check in every few weeks and see how they're going with their goals, see how they're going with the program, see if I can help with anything. And, you know, the more consistently I do that, there is no doubt that it has a dramatic effect on retention and results. Like, it's night and day. You know, if anyone has a really bad retention with customers in their teams, because they're just not giving that service and rapport. And you know, I know that for some generations and some people, it works better to do it over Messenger to get the sale. Like, if you can get them on the phone, it is a good option, because and for me, it's FaceTime. I like to see them. Like, that's the level of like rapport, right? If you want ultimate rapport, face to face, like FaceTime them, do it on Messenger, let them see you, especially if they don't know you. Like, it just goes so far in building connection, rapport, and retention and trust. And then if they won't, you know, if they choose not to do that, telephone, last option to me personally. And because I'm passionate about actually helping people, I'm not doing this just to get a quick sale. The bit that I actually enjoy is having that conversation and being able to give them some tips and, you know, help them transform their health. And it's harder to do that over Messenger. I do understand that Messenger works better for some people, and some people only want to go through message, and you've got to go with that flow. But that's the kind of priority ranking that I would do it in with retention. And the more you retain your business, obviously, the better it is for your income as well as helping people. How have you been able to create an amazing drive culture for your team? Do you mean like a driven culture? Tribe. I think it just goes right back to if I go right back to the beginning, I think right back at the beginning, it was a real customer driven culture. And that was because of my level of passion and commitment and time that I gave to customers, and just really helping them get results. And then a lot of them became team. And so there was just this really great connection and belief. And we had that connection and rapport because I've been working with them on getting results. You know, Jackie and Erin are the two, you know, strongest that are here today from that. But I honestly think it's because I genuinely care about people. Like, in the beginning, there was a little bit of a mentality in leadership about, you know, the next like numbers thing. And I think because of my own journey, I felt devalued and I felt not believed in a little bit in the beginning, like because I wasn't in action straight away and I wasn't like an Adam Westwick in terms of my entrepreneur mindset. I felt really looked over. And, you know, because I didn't have my confidence yet and I was really questioning a lot of things. And it felt to me like that wasn't valued, that because I was questioning things, I was just going to be one of those annoying people that didn't do anything. And that really pissed me off, to be honest. That was my drive for actually doing really well. I was like, I'm going to show you guys, you shouldn't have looked over me. So I made a commitment to myself that no one would feel like that in my team. And that I would just, you know, people who were good, there was I was a diamond disguised as a rock, right? I needed someone to give me the time to polish me and help me come out and shine. And you know, you can play this business either way. And I'm not saying give your time to people that don't show up. I'm definitely not saying that. You have to use your time wisely and choose who you give it to wisely. And you can totally do the numbers game and just out of the way next if you're not a runner. But that's just not my heart and who I am. And, you know, I just, if people show up, I will still show up for them, even if they're not, you know, like the leaders who are breaking all the records and doing all that. Like, I believe that this business can transform who a person believes they are. And that will make an incredible impact in the world, whether it's in this business or not. You know, a woman stepping into her greatness, that filters into her family and potentially for generations to come. So if my support and belief in them helps her to do that for herself, then that's what my job is, regardless of the result that they get in this business. So I think that's where that culture really came from, is that I just wasn't willing to leave anyone behind. As long as they could walk on their own, then, you know, I wanted everyone to come with me, and I cared about everyone and I gave time for everyone. And, you know, we had all our trainings and all of our groups, and we still do. It's just a little bit harder to manage the bigger it gets. And it gets, as a leader, for me, the most overwhelmed I feel, it brings me to tears even thinking about it, is that there will be people that will feel overlooked because it's impossible to actually reach every single person. And that's where it's your job to make sure that you're looking after your people, that people feel seen, because, you know, it doesn't feel good to feel unseen. And that is our own responsibility to have a voice. And that's where Karina said to me one time, you have to be so loud that they can't ignore you. And that is our responsibility. But sometimes that little bit of belief from others will help people step into that. So that genuine care is what will bring connection in your team. And, you know, I have women who have been SC from the beginning and they're still SC, but the culture, it's their journey and they're going at their pace that they can go at because of the season that their life is in. But this business has impacted them in so many ways, and it's given them, you know, power to step up and use their voice in their relationships and in their parenting. And it's given them, you know, financially, it's given them choices where maybe they didn't have that in their relationship. And even though it's only a little bit, it's dramatically life-changing for them. So don't ever underestimate the mission that you have in your hands and the impact that it makes, especially for women who maybe don't have other opportunities right now due to being stay-at-home mums or whatever that might be. And I think when you connect in your heart, that's when you'll build that tribe culture in your business. And it's not about numbers, it's not about results. It is, and you're monitoring that, but you step up as a leader and you influence those numbers by how you behave over here. Because harping on about the numbers and let's do this and let's do more and let's get more customers, that doesn't inspire anyone. But raising up the mission and raising up women into their greatness and showing them what they're capable of, and cheering them on to their goals and rewarding them and acknowledging them when they get there, and growing together and being vulnerable about your strengths and your weaknesses so that they can be vulnerable with theirs. That's how you grow and inspire a whole organization. What rituals do you do to keep you creating an inspired life? I always put some kind of movement and mindfulness into my day. I just don't function if I don't. And last year I was limited of what I could do, and it really did mess with my mind a bit, which made me go deeper into my spiritual connection and surrender and all of that, which is always a necessary lesson. But being back at the gym, I just realized how much I missed it and how much I feel like me being back there. So definitely some kind of movement, and then some kind of mindfulness. So I just have stuff around me, like my words are expand and create this year, and they're just on my desk in front of me. Got so many audiobooks on the go, they keep me inspired, just different quotes. Like, it's just filling my life with things that make me feel really good. One thing I'm doing a lot of at the moment, because I'm really just wanting to get into my feminine flow, and in this business we are required to step into a little bit of our masculine at times in terms of like achievement and getting excited and getting into action. Like, that's quite a driver role. And so I'm just, I've got my playlist that I've just been blasting every afternoon, and just dancing just for the joy of it. And whether I do that with my kids or on my own, it's just doing things that make me feel open and in flow, and just that helps me remember how beautiful life is. And having those moments with my kids, it's just those moments of mindfulness, and you get better and better at it. And I think what has allowed me to get better at it is realizing my my triggers that I need to become aware of. So there's certain things that will happen in my body, in my mind, certain tension things that will happen when I know things are getting too much, or if I'm going too in my head, or if I'm doing eye consciousness, like suffering thoughts that we all do. And I don't know how much you want me to get into this, Ange, but I actually think it's so relevant to this business, because usually why you won't get into action is because of all the BS noise in your head. And it's completely selfish suffering. It's like, I'm not enough, I'm this, I'm that, I. When you stop focusing on yourself, the suffering goes away, the noise goes away. When you focus on others and who you can be for others, and how you can show up for others, and how connected you are to this mission, to your family, to the people around you, to the earth, like however deep you want to go with it, all you feel is just a flow of love and peace and joy, and that flow. And so that's where I want to live. So you get better and better at living there more often. The more, and like that mindfulness becomes a habit, I guess. So the triggers for me is just when I start feeling this like for me, noise is an issue. And so when I feel that coming up and that tension, and I feel like I'm about to just like crack it at my kids or something, I can usually catch myself now and just have that pause, like, there it is again. I just need to take a deep breath and just get in touch with reality again, get out of my head. Because it comes up, the suffering comes up because there's so much noise in my head. It's actually not the external noise, it's the internal noise. That was a realization that I had last year. So I thought that I was sensitive to noise. And it wasn't until last year that I realized, because my internal noise is so loud. And so any external noise is competing with that. So as soon as I feel that feeling now, because I'm aware of it, and that's why awareness is important. So next time you're feeling frustrated, anxious, not good enough, unsure of yourself, become aware of what that trigger is, what that thought is, what the feeling is in your body, and then start catching yourself when it happens so that you can retrain yourself out of it, because it's a BS story that you're choosing to tell yourself. And, you know, there's another way. You can tell yourself a more empowering story to help you get into action, or to get into a better state, or show up better for your family, or whatever that might be. And, you know, and the daily habits that help you, I'm sure they're different for everyone. For me, it's movement, it's eating well, and it's having, you know, and it's fun. Like, I just have to have fun things in my life. That's why I do dumb stuff like skateboarding and taking my kids rollerblading and dancing around the house, because it makes me feel youthful and capable and free and confident and fun. And then I can bring those attributes into my business, which are attractive attributes, as opposed to being cold and closed off and controlling and criticizing and uncertain. Those are not attractive qualities that people will be attracted to. So like, we all have those personality traits. I think as women, especially the mums listening, is that we often, one of the first things we lose is fun, which stops our flow, our feminine flow. And that's something that's just always, like, you know, when I say I have words around me, there's certain words that I'm reading every day. I have my, you know, my manifesto that, you know, has those kind of words that are important to me that I want to bring into my life every day, because they're there. We just have to remind ourselves. You know, in the morning when you guys are getting the kids off to school, how many of you can say we had fun this morning, right? Usually it's a frustrating experience. You're rushing, you know, you're trying to get them a nutritious breakfast. You tell them to put their shoes on 10 million times. What are they forgetting? Like, it's just, and it's like, okay, well, we can actually change that. Is it that you've got to get up 15 minutes earlier, crank the music, have a dance party, have some fun, get organized? Like, how can you make it a fun experience? Because then you start your day and your business in a better headspace as well. It flows into the day. As women, and just last note I'll make on this, a huge aha moment that I had in the work that I did last year is that as the woman in the household, we dictate the state of our home, the emotional state. That's our responsibility. You think about the emotional state that you're in day to day, right? And sometimes, like, let's be honest, we all have interesting emotional states as women sometimes, right? Based on our cycles and all of those things. But like, how we show up, like, our emotional state impacts your significant other. It for sure impacts the children. And so when I realized how much of a responsibility I had over that, I realized it was my responsibility to do the work, because I don't want to have a negative influence on the emotional state that my children are in based on whether I'm having a good day or a bad day, or that, you know, my significant other is in based on whether I'm having a good day or a bad day, or my team members and how I react and respond to them based on whether I'm having a good day or a bad day. Like, I need to take responsibility for that, and I need to know how to shape that emotional state, how to resourcefully redirect it when needed, right? And it doesn't mean that every day is perfect and all of that. We just get better with the more awareness that we have. So whether it's meditation or whatever, and if all of that is just like, oh, it just seems too hard. Do you know what's too hard? Having an unhealthy, unhappy, unjoyful life that feels constrained, where you're not in flow, where you're not able to be yourself, where you're not having fun, where you're not bringing joy to your home. That's hard. So sometimes you just, like, I never used to be able to imagine myself ever meditating, ever setting goals, ever going to those personal development seminars. Like, I was that neg ferret. But trust me, the work is so worth it. But you have to step up and do the work, and it will impact your business and everything that you do. How do you help a team really make a decision when they are dipping their toes in and out? first of all is understanding that you are not, Linda would say, you're not that important. So, and what she would mean by that is that you could bend over backwards and be the most incredible leader, but you still may not influence that decision. So the first thing is being unattached and having a million conversations and things going on over here so that you can be unattached. You're not desperate. There's no, desperate, needy energy from you. Just hope in your heart that they see, what they could do with this amazing business, how it could change their life, and leaving that door open for them. And then, I think sometimes the best thing that can happen is you helping other team kick butt, them seeing the result, and often that will inspire them into action because they'll have FOMO, or they'll see that this does work and it will kill some of their excuses that it doesn't. So sometimes you just taking more action and working with the workers is one of the best things that you can do. And just, I think it's interesting because my dipping my toes in and deciding happened within myself. It was nothing that a leader did for me. So it's hard. You do want to get good at showing the vision, helping people see their vision, helping them see the cost if they don't, for sure. But you could do a perfect job of that and they still need to find it in their own time. And that's where making sure the community and the connection and that there's other needs being met for them to want to stay, so that hopefully that vision will occur in time, whether it's through seeing other people, whether it's through a conference and, an event that happened, which is what happened for me, or it's a circumstance changes in their life and then now they really have some desire. But yeah, just you do what you can as a leader, but you can't always influence the result. How do you motivate your team on a daily or weekly basis? The first thing is to change the word motivate to inspire. Because motivating is like a personal trainer and you usually want to punch them in the face because you don't like what they're making you. You don't want to do what they're making you do. I've got personal training tomorrow actually in the morning. I'll probably want to punch him in the face if he makes me do burpees or something, right? And he's cheering me on and motivating me, but the whole time I'm like, I hate this, right? Why am I paying to do this? So motivation doesn't work. I think inspiration, and this is where I think, and this is like, I would say for me, the greatest inspiration that I've offered my team is my vulnerability and sharing my challenges and my growth as it has occurred has inspired them for what is possible. So your job is not to be this kick-ass leader that knows it all and is just going to show everyone the way. That's not inspiring. Most people don't feel that capable. So it's about being real and, you doing the work and sharing that with your team. Like, that's inspiring. Showing them what's possible, showing them what's on the line. You making stuff happen in your own business inspires them for what is possible. You can't ask someone else to do something you're not doing yourself. You be the best customer recruiter. You be the best team recruiter. You be the best person when it comes to acknowledging your team's promotions. You be the best, customer service giver. You be the best at, helping people get to their goals and, celebrating them and being the cheerleader and doing all that. That's what will be inspiring. And yeah, just like, I think knowing what works for each individual team member too. For some people, that is daily accountability and they want to link arms with you and feel like you're there and that you're doing it together. I think another thing when it goes back to creating culture in your team is for me, I'm not someone who does hierarchy or ego or pedestal or like none of that stuff really has ever resonated with me. I've always rebelled against authority and that kind of dynamic. So like naturally, not even intentionally, just in hindsight when I look back, I've never seen my downline as my downline. Like I just see everyone as sidelines. Like Jackie and Erin, I always, like in my head, we're sidelines. I don't see them below me. And so we've always just linked arms and worked together. It's not my responsibility to be better than them, to talk down on them, to tell them what to do. We just like talk to each other and work together. And it doesn't matter what level someone is on, that's how I see my team. So it's like, I think the team is inspired by you working together with them, and never having expectation of anyone, never telling anyone what to do, because they have their own business. They don't have to do anything. And always just appreciating what they do, but not expecting any more or any less. Like, we can only appreciate what they do. And acknowledge, I guess. A lot of people really need acknowledgement in the world today. It's probably a very common need and desire from people. So really being able to encourage and acknowledge the greatness in people and what they do really well, I think is really important too. And that will, the more you can give someone a positive experience and a positive touch, the more they're going to want to show up. So getting no's and putting yourself out there and getting outside your comfort zone, for a lot of people, some people that's exciting, but for a lot of people, they have negative feelings in their body. How do you counteract that? Through community, through connection, through acknowledging what they're doing great, through celebrating their wins, through sending them little cards and things to welcome them into the team. Like, how many ways can you positively touch them so that they're inspired to, want to be a part of the mission? How did you change your mind frame to just decide you were doing this and block all the self-doubt and pass that on to your team? It was just a snap. Like, it was something changed in every cell of my body. Like, I literally just felt the shift. And so it's not something I can really teach. It was just enough is enough. Like, I was just furious, fuming at myself, like still doing a bit of blame and shame, like on people around me not believing in me. But like, the truth is, and now I can see it, is just, that was my responsibility, not anyone else's. And yeah, I still didn't know how I was going to be successful. I still didn't necessarily have full blown belief that, I could do anything. But I just knew I was going to find a way. And yeah, I stopped making excuses. I just decided to stop making excuses, and that I would find the way, make the way instead of make excuses. And I did the work. Like, I just did the work. Like, and I faked it till I made it. I think and I still do that today. Like, every time I get asked to do things constantly that I don't want to do, that I'm scared to do, that are outside my comfort zone. I've been asked to speak at MLM Nation with Simon Chan. I still don't like speaking on stage. It's just not my jam. Like, I want to speak to people one-on-one. I don't care about being on stage in front of people. Like, it just doesn't really light me up. But what lights me up is the growth that occurs because I say yes, and because it's still outside my comfort zone. And I just fake it till I make it. I just fake the confidence. And when you get in action, that's how you build confidence. And so every time I say yes, I come off a little bit stronger and a little bit more confident in what I can accomplish. So fake it till you make it. Just make the decision. Stop the BS. Stop making excuses. Make money instead of excuses. I definitely had some desire to make some money and change our life. Just say yes to every opportunity. Make opportunities to push yourself and grow. My big vision for my business, obviously it shifts and changes, and it should shift and change. If you're feeling really uninspired, it's probably because your vision isn't big enough anymore. Maybe you kind of reached some goals. Maybe your goal was to cover the grocery bill or whatever, and like that was all your vision was in the beginning, which is completely normal when you first come into this. And so it's about continuing to expand that vision. And if I'm completely honest, like last year was a tough year for many, many reasons. And I think one of the biggest reasons, like I felt so flat, is because I just didn't have a compelling vision anymore. Like, it's like, you reach all these goals. There's not really any goals to kick anymore. So it's not about that. It's not about achievement. It's not about competition. It's not about any of those things. And it's like, you feel like you're at capacity with the amount of people you're working with. And so I kind of just flatlined in what I was excited about. And I think what happened actually is I was doing the mummies on a mission thing for so long, and then that took another direction. And then Adam and I always threw different ideas of how we could do this with a family thing or that. And nothing really gelled and made both of us excited. So nothing really happened. And so I didn't really have this mission that I was on anymore. And when I was doing mummies on a mission, I was so passionate about that mission, about helping mums create an income from home. And that, none of you were around then, but if you went back through my Facebook page, you would see the voice that I had for that. It was strong and it was powerful, and I shared my journey as it unfolded, which is so much harder to share today because I earn so much more money than what most people would ever think of for themselves that they would want to earn. And so back then, as I was growing my business, I was able to share excitedly how much of a difference the money was making and the bonuses were making. And, you know, when people were achieving those bonuses, the difference it was making for them. And that was just such a compelling vision for so many mums. And our Mummies on a Mission event was constantly, you know, up over 100 people, always new guests, like just the energy amongst us. We were, like Jackie and Erin, they were equally excited about it. And so because I just lost my way with that, you know, for the last 12 months. And I think it was game plan that I just kind of had something come over me, and I just realized, because it's really kind of, you know, I loved doing the Babes Supporting Babes thing and all of that, but I definitely loved it, and it was soul nourishing, but it wasn't like everything about it was everything that I was about. There was still something kind of missing with how I could share it as passionately as I did Mums on a Mission. And that's when I just realized, like, my whole mission is empowering women. And I don't want to leave any women out from that, like whether they're mums or not, whether they feel like a babe or not. Like, I just want to be a strong voice for women, and whether they're in great relationships or not, that they empower themselves financially, because you just never know what will happen in the future. And to be able to do that gracefully, not because anyone hates men or we can't rely on them or any of those things. It's because I feel so strong as a woman today. I feel my potential. I feel like I'm making an impact. I feel so happy. I feel more confident in who I am today than like who I was before this business. I didn't love who I was. And I can honestly say, like, over the last few months, like, I love who I am and I love where I'm at. And this business has given me that. And so I feel that it is my mission and responsibility to give that opportunity to other women, whether it's through the Juice Plus vehicle or not, because I can make an impact with my social media and give women a voice, whether this is their vehicle or not. But obviously I'm passionate about it happening through this vehicle too. So that's kind of my vision for this year, is to really step into that space of empowering women and, you know, helping them step into their greatness, helping them step into their potential, helping them believe in themselves, and helping them to create some financial independence, whether that's just to help their family thrive or whether it's to help them get out of survival mode and give them choices, and to not need someone to not ever feel like they need someone to rescue them. And, you know, even if they're in a great relationship, you know, just helping them feel secure that if anything were to happen, they could take care of themselves. So that's my vision. And I feel on purpose again. Like, I can honestly say, like, the last, like, I felt so flat for probably more than 12 months. And I just, like, I feel so full of energy. And that's probably why Angie's like, you're exercising so much, because I feel like this flow again. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited about life. And I think it's because I'm passionate about something again. So, you know, it's not just about serving others. When you are on purpose, like I did a post today, I think it was today, it's like, purpose is the best alarm clock that you can have. Like, I'm not a morning person, but I'm like waking up at 5 a.m. every morning. Like, I'm suddenly a morning person because I'm excited about life. So it's serving me as much as it's serving others. And it's making me step up more, because if I'm going to serve other women and have that voice, I have to be as strong and empowered as I can be. And so it's, you know, I have to empower myself with coaches and mentoring to make sure that I have what it takes to help other women too. So it's really serving me as much as it will hopefully serve others. So that's my mission. And if it makes you cry, then it must be a good why, right?
Totally. You've got just like a bunch of love now in the comments. It's really cute. Like really, really sweet. And I think one thing that for me really pops up with that is like, you don't have to be Kira Westwick to have that mission and that purpose. Like you don't have to be already successful. You don't have to be going through a transition in your life. You just decide that, you know what, this is my time where my vision, my mission, and my purpose is bigger than my excuses. And I think that's really cool for all of us to know that in any moment you can decide that it's your time to have that purpose, and you can wake up feeling that amazing and doing all of those incredible things. And that's, to me, that's the most inspiring part, that anyone, literally anyone, can do what we do. Like we have people who can't hear doing our business.
And I just want to say as well, like this made a huge impact when I did a thing with Mitch and Mills last year. Like, I think we look at the leaders and, you know, they're on stage and they're doing all this stuff and we think, well, I could never do that. And, you know, I still am like, why do I still not care about like doing that? Because a lot of the leaders, they love being in the limelight, and it's not, I mean, it's a great thing. Like they want to impact the many. And like that's never resonated with me. And then, you know, Mitch said something along the lines of how like you impact one person and that impacts the world. And so don't underestimate your service and the impact that makes. For me, I love to impact one-on-one, and that does impact the world, you know. And it's like, I was talking about this on a live the other day, like my housekeeper, Gina, like she like really helps me keep my life together. And because I have her, I'm able to do what I do, which is impacting the world. And she loves what she does. I would never want to be a housekeeper. You couldn't pay me enough to do that, but she loves her job and she takes pride in it, and she like changes my life, and that helps me change lives. It's a flow-on effect. And so, you know, whether you're someone who dreams of being on stage in front of 10,000 people empowering women, or whether it's one-to-one that you help someone believe in themselves, don't underestimate that impact. And don't compare yourself to anyone else and how they're going to go about the mission.
All right. It's officially bedtime. Guys, I would love it if you would just put gratitude and praise for Kira for everything and how she's shown up for us tonight. I'm glad this is recorded because now we can all go back and watch it whenever we're feeling sorry for ourselves or feeling like we need a bit of a kick up the butt. But we appreciate your time so much, so much. And everyone, I'm sure, got something for this. So thank you. And we love you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the love.
And I hope you can see all the awesome comments coming through. But guys, go to bed. Well, no, don't go to bed. Do some work on you. Maybe write down some cool goals and then go to bed and dream about the awesome life that you get to create thanks to this business. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.